Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I missed you on our normal Friday evening live, but we ended up having some guests over, and so you are getting me now on Saturday morning. So today I want to share a project with you with the Celebrate Sunflowers. And since last week you enjoyed the you get two cards out of one stamping, I'm going to show you another really quick and easy way to get multiple cards from stamping at one sitting. So first, this Celebrate Sunflower stamp set, this will be available beginning June 3rd. So keep that on your wish list. I think that will be a quick seller. And so now I want to just go over what the new in colors are so that you can get a sneak peek of those. So this one right here is called Cinnamon Cider, and it truly reminds me of the color of apple cider in the fall. So it's very pretty, a nice soft brown, and it's not one that we have anything even similar to that right now. And then we have Just Jade. And again, it's a green that we don't really have anything quite like that right now. The next one is Bumblebee. And Bumblebee isn't like our other yellows, but it's very similar to Crush Curry. So it is different than the other ones, but it's like a lighter Crush Curry. So if you like that bold yellow, but you want something just a tiny bit lighter, Bumblebee is a great color, and it's one of my favorites right now. The next one is Magenta Madness, and I absolutely love this one. This is almost a fluorescent pink, but it's just so bright and bold. I love that. And then the next one is Misty Moonlight. So those are our 5 new in colors. And those will be around for 2 years, and they are great to create with. So we are going to use the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set and those new colors to create our projects for today. So let's get started. I'm going to set this aside, and I have my Stamparatus here. And I have been using this so much more often. I think once you get the hang of it, it's really a necessary tool. So I'm going to open that up. I've already placed my sunflower on there, and we are going to stamp each one of those squares with that sunflower. So my squares on this project, they measure 3 3/4 inches. You could always go bigger or smaller for this project, but that is what I am using today. So I am using Memento ink, and I'm going to just ink that sunflower right there on that. And we are going to do this on each one of those. So as you can see, it's a little lighter there. The nice thing about the Stamparatus is I can re-ink that again, and I can get a much darker image. Still need a little more there. Maybe I just need to re-ink my pad. Maybe time to do that. That's one of the nice things about the Stampin' Up! Pads is you can always get an ink refill for those. So I'm going to set that one aside. We'll do our Misty Moonlight here. And we're just going to ink that up. Stamp. And the important part about the technique I'm showing you today is that you want all of these to line up the same. So you don't want them to be different. You want all of these with those different colors exactly the same. So there's that one. We're going to take our Magenta Madness and do that one. I think the black on that one's going to be very pretty. Now, I'll have to show you these finished cards later, but I do have 5 cards that I made earlier with this technique, so you'll want to stay tuned so you can see those. And I will add all the measurements to my blog later as well. So if you miss anything, you can always go check that at thestampdoc.com, and those will be there for you. So we just have 2 more of these to do. I'm going to do one more on that too. I just want this to be a good, bold stamp. So you can do this with any of your stamps. You know, stamps that are anything above 2 inches are going to work fine for this technique. we're going to do the green. This one is Just Jade. And by putting my paper in the corner, I'm making sure that all of those are stamped just right. One more on that too. This is really nice if you're embossing as well, because if you miss a spot after you've embossed, you can always go back and put it in the Stamparatus and redo that. Okay, so we've got all of those stamped. And now what we want to do is cut those apart. So I hope you're hanging with me here. All right, so I'm going to use my paper trimmer. And because these are 3 3/4 inches, we're going to cut them in half. Actually, we're going to cut them into 4. So we're going to cut them at 1 7/8 inch by 1 7/8 inch. So let me line that up. Just go ahead and do this one. And when I do these, I like to just kind of set them, I can't really show you that because it's off screen, but I like to kind of keep them in their order, if that makes sense. So that I have those, my full flower together. And the way I keep track of this particular one is, see where these curve over? I consider that my top. So that's how that keeps me organized with it. So again, I'm going to hit 1 7/8. And this is really the most time-consuming part of this. Take that one out. Do this one. So if you are one of my customers and you've already got your catalog, please let me know. Keeping track of those. It sounds like they're starting to hit the mailboxes. And if you haven't gotten a catalog, I will have local pickup this week on Tuesday, beginning Tuesday. And you are welcome to pick up a catalog at my office. And if you need one, I will be glad to send you one through priority mail if you're still not getting out. All right, so we've got just a few more here. I'm not going to do the brown one because I'm going to save it for later. Got an idea for it, and it won't flow with this idea. So again, 1 7/8 inch is where I am putting those. Okay, so I'm going to move my paper trimmer out of the way. And let me just show you kind of how I've got this here. I think I lost one. All right. So you'll see I've got all of those cut just like so. Okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of basic black cardstock, and I am going to layer those on there. Now, I think I'm going to call this a pop art technique. I've seen it, but I haven't seen a good name for it. So if you think of anything even better before I post it later, that would be great. So I am using the multi-purpose glue. And the reason I do that is if I need to wiggle these around at all, I can do that. So then I'm going to take the top right square of that one, put it on there. And I'm just going to kind of act like that is a puzzle that I'm putting together. And I'm just leaving a little border. I think most of you can see where I'm going with this now. But this will allow me to make 4 different cards this way. So I wanted to feature those in colors, and this was a great way to do that. So we have that one. This one's going to be pretty. I just love the way these colors pop together. They look really neat. Okay. So now I have a great little focal point for my card. So I would just add that to a card front, add a little greeting at the bottom, and that one is complete. So that one has 4 of the in colors. The samples I'm going to show you have 5 of the new in colors. So I cut them a little bit differently. So I would just continue that with all of those colors that I've already done. And that way I had enough for 3 more cards. So let me just show you real quick. This is my little map, and I'll put this online. But again, the paper is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I cut it at 1 7/8 inch. If you want to continue that, just continue that across and you'll have 4. But if you're wanting to do 5 like I did, the other half you're going to cut at 1 1/4 and then 2 1/2 so that you get 3 pieces, and that way you can showcase all 5 colors. So let me show you my samples that I made with that. So on this one, now these I also, I stamped these in Versamark ink, and then I embossed them with Whisper White embossing powder. So those have a little bit of texture to them. And then I just have that saying thanks a bunch, and I popped up my black panel. So I did that on a black card, and then I also did it on a white card, so that those are just like so. And then on these, I actually separated those pieces so that there's a little bit of blocking in there. And I kind of like the look of that too. So as you can tell, all of these look a little bit different. Each card is very unique, and especially with the colors and everything. So with these, I had 5. So I was able to do black and white, and that was great. But then I wanted to do a little bit with color. So I will show you that one. And that's this one here. So I used a Misty Moonlight base. This is some Bumblebee gingham ribbon, which is really pretty. And then these are some in color enamel dots that I added to that. So this is my blinged up version of those cards. Okay, so from just that one little stamping session, I was able to get 5 cards. And from the next one, I'll be able to get 4 cards. So just a fun way to use some of your big stamps and really get a lot of images from that are very eye-catching. So that's all I've got for you today. If you haven't already done so, I'm going to have my virtual launch party beginning on Wednesday, June 3rd. Just visit my Facebook page and click the little button at the top that says Visit Group, and you are welcome to join. So hope to see a lot of you there, and I'll be sharing a lot more ideas with the new annual catalog. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.